Hey everyone, just wanted to show off a new product that we have that we're going to be releasing here shortly. It's another lower for the SCAR 17 platform, and it's actually a conversion kit lower. So today we're going to talk about the SCAR 17 platform specifically, as well as the 16 platform, and kind of how they're somewhat parts interchangeable. That's kind of gives us the ability to be able to swap between different calibers, which I'm going to get into here in a second. So first up, we have our SCAR 17 lower here. This is our normal one. Takes the standard 7.62 by 51 round, as you can see there. And our lower here on the left will accept the mini action rounds or 5.56, 7.62 by 39 in that realm, and anything that goes in there. So you can see, like, I have the bullets here separately, 7.62 by 51 on the bottom, 5.56 on the top, just with their respective lowers here. I also have the magazines here just to show some comparison. We have our normal standard Magpul 5.56 magazine and the Magpul 7.62 by 51 mag. As you can see, I kind of have them with their respective lowers here. Obviously, this one, the 5.56 magazine, can't fit in here, and vice versa. So like I said, we've been developing and designing a lower that is able to fit on the SCAR 17 platform and be able to swap down to and use the mini action or smaller 5.56 round that the SCAR 16 actually shoots. So right now you can get conversion kits for the SCAR 16 to shoot. I think there's 7.62 by 39. There's 224 Valkyrie, 300 Blackout in that realm. However, for the SCAR 17, I think currently there's only conversion kits for 6.5 Creedmoor, which again is in line with the small action 7.62 by 51, 7.62 by 51, 6.5 Creedmoor, and I think there's a 338 Federal one. So, like I said, what we've done is we've made, I'm going to move this out of the way, a SCAR 17 lower that is able to use the 5.56 round and mini action rounds just like it. So you might be wondering, how is that possible? SCAR 16 barrels and SCAR 17 barrels are not the same. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Right here in front of me, I have a SCAR 16 barrel. Here's my 17 carrier. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And then I have my normal SCAR 17 barrel. This is the 308 7.60 by 51 barrel assembly. And as you can see, these are both 16-inch barrels, OEM barrels. This one's a little bit more tricked out. This is a brand new, unfired SCAR 16 barrel. The trunnion and barrel assemblies are basically identical. I mean, there's some changes with the gas jets internally and maybe the gas knobs, the adjuster knobs. But really, the way that the SCAR 16 barrel and 17 barrel both fit up onto the upper receiver is exactly the same. So therefore, you can take a SCAR 16 barrel and put it into a SCAR 17 upper. Well, in terms of the bolt carrier and bolt face itself, I'm going to move the barrels out of the way here. The bolts and bolt carriers are not the same between the 16 and 17. Now, I only have a 17 carrier right here. But just to kind of go over that, here I have the smaller SCAR 16 5.56 bolt and the larger SCAR 17 308 7.60 by 51 bolt. Lengthwise, they're exactly the same. And actually, if I take the 5.56 bolt, I'm going to take the larger 7.62 by 51 bolt, put it out of the way. This bolt will fit, the 5.56 one, will fit in the 17 carrier and will work in the 17 carrier. The only problem that we run into are the firing pins. So I have a couple firing pins here. Here is the normal SCAR 16 firing pin. I'm going to bring back the 308 bolt there. Here is the normal 308 7.62 by 51 firing pin, and you can see there's a length difference there. The length difference really comes from the bolt carrier itself. Like I said, the bolts are the exact same length there, however the firing pins are different. Even the tips, the 16 and the 17, if if that'll focus on there, you can see that the tips are different. The tip on the 16 is much smaller, skinnier than the tip on the 17 there. So just to kind of show that 308 bolt, 556 bolt, the SCAR 17 pin will not fit and protrude out the 16 bolt face. So we had to come up and make our own firing pin, which will be supplied with these conversion kit lowers here. So like I said, we do have a custom pin that we're going to be making and sending with the SCAR conversion kit lowers. It's the exact same length as the 17 pin. This is our pin on here on the bottom, but it has that finer tip that you see that will puncture the 556 case. So just pull up the 556 bolt. There it pops through just as intended. Interestingly enough, we did look at using the SCAR 20 high pressure, I believe that's what they're calling it, firing pin. Basically, they changed it for 6.5 Creedmoor as they were popping the primers. They actually went to the SCAR 16 tip diameter and they reduced the size of the firing pin hole. This is on the 6.5 Creedmoor bolt, which I don't have here, but just showing. They reduced the internal firing pin hole to match the 16. The only thing that they did is that they shortened the bolt back here, and they shortened the firing pin stop here. So when this firing pin, it stops right here on this surface here. They shortened where that surface would be. So if you try and use the SCAR 20, like I have here, the SCAR 20 firing pin, it will not protrude out the bolt face. This was done so that people do not try and use the SCAR 20 firing pin in a 308 bolt face, the normal 308 bolt faces. These are actually, I think, discontinued. They're going to stop making these, but in our case, for the conversion kit lowers, it doesn't matter. Like I said, we have our own firing pin, which basically, if you compare it to the SCAR 20 firing pin, is almost identical. This is our firing pin here on the right. This is the 20 on the left here. Like I said, they are identical in terms of everything except for where these two surfaces land. Our pin here on the top, you can see, is noticeably more rearwards than the 20 firing pin. So, like I said, that's pretty much all there is to it. So, just moving the firing pins out the way, the bolt carrier and the conversion kit lower, all one would need to convert their SCAR 17 to a mini action caliber is you can reuse your bolt carrier. You need a SCAR 16 barrel assembly. Deadshot Barrels is making their own barrel assemblies that you can use, 7.62x39, and I think a few other calibers, 224 Valkyrie. Like I said, if you buy a complete barrel assembly, OEM or from Deadshot Barrels, you will be able to put it in a SCAR 17 upper. You will also need a SCAR 16 bolt carrier, or excuse me, bolt face and bolt. So here's the 5.56 bolt, and here is Deadshot Barrels 7.62x39 bolt. Both of these will work in the upper with their proper barrel assembly. So just to reiterate, you will need a conversion kit lower, you will need a SCAR 16 barrel assembly, and you will need a bolt. If you buy from Deadshot Barrels, they sometimes send with their barrel assemblies the corresponding bolt. And then you will also, with the lower, receive a firing pin. So just besides the lower, obviously finishing the lowers with the trigger, safety, grip, and magazine release, comes with the firing pin. You will need two other components, the barrel assembly and the bolts. When I purchased my 7.62x39 conversion kit, it came with the bolt itself, so like I said, I only bought this and was able to put it on my conversion kit lower. So I have my SCAR 17 barrelless or upper, stripped upper basically right next to me. I'm going to show basically how you swap calibers, and it's very simple and relatively quickly. So, right here, I have my SCAR 17 upper. This is kind of tricked out. It's the Cypher X Imperial Arms upper. I have the 7.62x39 barrel in it. I have the K&S discarder in it, which we highly recommend for these conversion kit lowers, mainly because the ability to adjust and increase the gas flow regardless of the gas jet that's in the upper. I have been able to cycle 7.62x39 subsonic rounds out of this upper with the main 17 bolt carrier and bolt, no problem. So just to say that again, subsonic 7.62x39 can be cycled with the K&S discarder in this upper configuration without changing out any of the gas jets, anything like that. So that's why we recommend the discarder. It increases or will decrease the amount of gas you have coming back to your bolt, and allows you to shoot a wide range of ammo selections, whatever. Like I said, cycling subsonics out of this upper, we were very surprised it happened, but it did work. Like I said, just wanted to throw that out there. So to swap your uppers, I'm not going to do it here on camera, but you need to take out 6 screws. These 3 and these 3 on the other side. Now this will be the same for a standard 17 upper. There will just be retaining clips for the screws. They won't actually come out. So once all 6 of those screws are out, you will push your barrel forward and it will pull out the bottom. And then you can swap in a new barrel, torque all of your screws to spec, slide in your bolt carrier with your bolt that you want. Like I said, right now I have the 7.62x39 barrel assembly in here. So I'm going to use my 7.62x39 dead shot bolt, put that in my 17 upper, my 17 carrier, and then I have our special firing pin denoted by the single cut here at the rear. We kind of matched what the 20 did, which did 3 cuts here at the rear. Ours is just a single cut. Again, do not use this firing pin in any other application besides with the conversion kit lower and a mini action caliber. If you try to use it with the 7.62x51 bolt, you will most likely have primer damage or damage to your interior of your firing pin hole here. Maybe even blown out primers, just like what the SCAR 20 was experiencing with 6.5 Creedmoor rounds. You will have that happen with this setup. So again, use this firing pin only in the conversion kit bolt faces, because like I said, these are meant for the SCAR 16, and this is basically a SCAR 16 firing pin that's been extended. So just wanted to say that. Again, like I said, you put your bolt in your bolt carrier, bring in your new firing pin, your cam pin and your firing pin retainer pin, I think that's what that is. Slide it back up in your upper and you are ready to go. You just converted your SCAR 17 upper to a different caliber, a mini action caliber. That easy to do. And like I said, our lowers will allow you to do that. Here I have just a lower that I've kitted up myself. Like I said, we've just added the trigger, safety selector, grips, magazine release. We do sell a complete kit to help finish your lower, which like I said includes the trigger, selector, grip, and magazine release. You just purchase that with the lower, it's just like an add-on kit. And that's all you need to do. One thing I would recommend you do is add a magazine release extension. I have decently large hands, and it is somewhat of a stretch for me. I plan on using the AmbiMag release, but like I said, the nice thing about AR-15s is you can buy a magazine release extender, which would bring it out to where my finger's about at. If I fully grip it, I can reach it, but like I said, it'd be much nicer, especially if you have smaller hands, to bring that back into here to something normal, which you'd be used to. Like I said, it is a SCAR 17 size. I'll just kind of fit it up here. SCAR 17 size lower. Sorry, trying to do this on camera. There we go. Is a long receiver because of the normal 308 or 7.62x51 round, but swapping it down to the SCAR 16 calibers It does kind of extend the receiver here a little bit. Gives you a good amount of room in the trigger guard. You still will be able to use the ambi bolt catch system that we have. Like I said, that's just the lower and kind of showing up the fit up and how it would look. So like I said, swapping barrels is very, very easy. Can be done with minimal tools. I think just, you know, whatever torque or screw. We would use a torque wrench, but whatever you can find to whatever bit you need to take out these screws and torque it back to spec. We can swap barrels in 5 minutes or less, and we found that the retaining accuracy, returning to zero, has been pretty consistent as long as you follow, you know, a regular like star pattern for torquing the screws back down for the upper and going that route. So like I said, that's pretty much it. We've been able to convert to a good amount of possible calibers out there. Hoping to kind of get into maybe some 224 Valkyries for this upper, get like a longer soft shooting, long range platform, maybe even swap to something else. I would love to try 300 Blackout in this thing and see how it would run. The heavier carrier may cause issues, but I would be excited to see with the K&S Discarder if that would actually run and cycle. Like I said, 7.62x39 subsonic rounds. I have them here. The Brown Bear ones, 7.62x39 subsonic, have been able to cycle flawlessly out of this upper, which was very, very surprising. And again, with this lower, you can always use the 7.62x39 AR mags. They work just as well. So, a lot of possibilities with this upper, with this platform. That's kind of why we've been doing so much work on it, trying to make little pieces and parts, because it is a very cool platform. And like I said, FN did a pretty good job of designing it for caliber conversions in mind. I know there was some Army trials years ago, which never came to the civilian market, but trying to be able to swap calibers and do it easily, which they kind of put everything in place, at least FN did. It's just nobody seemed to make a caliber conversion kit until now. So like I said, these will be available very shortly, if not already available, depending on when this video goes live. But like I said, they will ship with the lower, the new firing pin, which we're making, partnering with another company, and that's pretty much it. So like I said, I appreciate everybody watching this video. If you have any questions or have any further information, maybe there's something I got wrong in this video, you know, feel free to comment, or, you know, send us an email at sales@lingoindustries.com. We'd be happy to hear from you. Like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. And I look forward to talking to you guys. Hopefully you guys pick up one of these lowers. They are very cool, very handy, especially if you want to swap calibers pretty easily. Don't want to buy a whole nother gun, whole nother setup. And kind of investing in one upper and being able to shoot a bunch of different calibers has always been a cool concept, and glad we're able to finally do that. So like I said, appreciate you guys watching. Let us know if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that. Thank you.